Well, check it out, y'all. We got what you need. We're all living in apartments, condos, vans. Well, dude, even you can have a studio in a box. Yes, we can help you with that right here at Blind Knowledge. We work on your budget and we figure out your measurements. We'll get you the best sound for the best price. Let me know, 877-237-1143 or at blindknowledge.com. Yep.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down.
Hello, everybody. Sunday night, favorite time, favorite place. Bunch of strangers here at Global Strangeness, brought together by the love of the strange, the paranormal, downright weird. So, first things first, we are now officially on the 7th day of January, which means if you set any New Year's resolutions, you can now officially drop them. You've given it a good try. It was a great run, but let it go.
Dude, we've been going to the gym this week. I'm telling you, like, the gym is double its normal amount of people there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people start out the year strong, like, yeah. So, how about you, Jeremy? You set anything?
I haven't set New Year's resolutions in freaking 15 years. I figure, what's the point?
Oh.
They're gonna get broken anyway.
So the bar is low, like it's on the floor. You're good.
No, we picked up the bar and threw it to the woods a long time ago, and now we're just good.
Yeah, no disappointments that way, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Anyways, happy New Year's to all our listeners. I hope everybody's holidays were good. We're here tonight to talk about literally the stuff that nightmares are made of. We're talking about sleep paralysis. So
yes, aka confronting your demons.
Yeah. So what's interesting about it is because you can kind of look at it from a psychology point of view, I guess, or sleep, like REM, whatever, interruption, or it can be paranormal. Like there's a whole bunch of nobody really knows, right? So for those of you who don't know what sleep paralysis is, it's a state during just as you're kind of waking up or falling asleep, in which you're conscious, so you're awake in your mind, but you have full body paralysis. And during this episode, people can, this says, hallucinate. Some people really feel like they actually have a demon or a hag or an entity in the room with them. They can hear, feel, or see things that are not there. And it's quite scary. I mean, it sounds downright freaking terrifying. And episodes generally last no more than a few minutes, but it can occur just at one time or it can occur multiple times. So, I mean, how terrible is that if you have that and you kind of fall back asleep and you wake up and it's again there, like multiple times in a night. So, I don't know. Freaking scary. Listen to people's descriptions of, what's going on. Like, it's like they think demons are around you can't move your body. That's freaking terrifying.
Mine was scary. I didn't even have the demons, but it felt like 20 minutes. It's like literal time was going through in a dream.
Right? Yeah. So did you pull yourself out? Because some people can train themselves. They have tricks about how to ground themselves back to reality or just understand it. So you just wake up or came away, or did you fall back asleep?
I was actually like in my office. I was at work and I just like up late the night before and sort of passed out in my chair. And then it was like I woke up in our old backyard in Florida and I was just sitting there and I couldn't move and I was trying to like scream for my wife and I couldn't do anything. I was just like stuck for 20 minutes. It was the weirdest shit I've ever experienced. And I didn't see demons or hags or any of the crazy shit though.
How did it end? Like, did you wake up or did you fall back into a dream state and then wake up normal? Or like, how did you get out of it?
Oh, I woke straight up. So I woke up in the office and was like, fuck that. Yeah, I was not a fan.
And then your boss walked in and saw that you were sleeping, and then that was really scary.
Yeah, that part didn't happen, so there's a plus.
Well, Scott, you can't see the demon if you are the demon. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, might be.
I mean,
might be.
You worship Krampus enough, eventually you become him. So
I've had it a few times, but it's not scary to me. Like I've woken up and I can't move, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not ready to wake up, and I go back to sleep. But there's nothing scary, and I've had that happen a few times. But one of my oldest son, he gets sleep paralysis like this with like his descriptions is just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you go through that. Like it's, so I don't know. According to this, the condition can occur in those who are otherwise healthy, or with narcolepsy, or it may run in families as a result of genetic changes. It doesn't say what changes. The condition can be triggered by sleep deprivation, psychological stress, or abnormal sleep cycles. So the underlying mechanism is believed to involve a dysfunction in the REM sleep. So lucid dreaming does not affect the chances of sleep paralysis, but some lucid dreamers use this as a method of having a lucid dream. So lucid dream, for anyone who doesn't know, is where you're sleeping, but you can choose and do things, move around. You sort of have free will within your dream. And this doesn't talk about it, but a lot of astral projectors also say that sleep paralysis is often a gateway into the astral projection.
Yeah. So do they wake up and move around after the paralysis is done, or like?
Yeah, like this is really common for astral projectors. You get this vibrating in your body, and then as they go to enter the astral realms or whatever, there's like entities around that can be quite fearful. But if you just stand up to them and tell them to go away, some people say it's your imagination that's bringing that on as they're going through. Other people think it's actual entities, but the common theme is if you just stand up to it and shoo it off, and then you can actually do astral projecting, which is where your spirit is going all over and going into different realms and stuff. So some people think that lucid dreaming and astral projecting, that's all just in your brain. You're not actually doing it. It's just, some people swear you are actually doing it. I believe you actually do. I do believe you can actually do this.
I've interviewed enough people on my show who do it that I 100% believe it's the actual thing you're doing. It's not all in your head. I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, there is another thing that happens in the same category as sleep paralysis, that is exploding head syndrome. And that's basically when you wake, like in the transition from wake to sleep or sleep to wake, it sounds like you hear like a bomb go off or like a loud thunder crack. And apparently I've heard about it before, and apparently it's a benign, underdiagnosed sensory parasomnia. How do you say it?
Oh, I've never heard of that. That's interesting. That'd be scary too.
Yeah, it's basically like you hear like something loud go off as you're going to sleep or as you're waking up, and it's just like I've heard people call into Monsters Among Us podcast all the time like that, and then like the host would be like, "This is another case of exploding head syndrome." Like,
jeez.
I mean, it's underdiagnosed because people, like, doctors don't want to believe it happens.
Well, even this like treatment options, it's recommended that people just be reassured that the condition is common and not serious. So, I mean, you tell somebody who thinks they have a demon sitting on their chest, like, it's not serious, don't worry about it. They recommend sleep hygiene, cognitive behavioral therapy, and antidepressants. So there's not a lot of research.
They do.
Yeah, of course, right? And it's interesting, between 8% and 50% of people experience sleep paralysis at some point during their life, but about 5% have regular episodes. Male and females are affected equally. And it's been described throughout history. So this is not new. This is why I think it's, also legit. Like, this has been through texts and stories and lore forever and ever, right?
Yeah.
And they don't, like, there's not a lot of studies on it. Like, it's not like they've medically kind of pinpointed exactly what's going on in the, in the brain to, and that's why they, their recommendations and treatments are kind of blasé too. So I truly believe it is, you are tiptoeing into the other dimensions and stuff. And sometimes there's scary things and you just have to shoot it off or get through it. And then you can have really cool experiences. So
I mean, go ahead, Scott.
Well, I love the like shooing away thing. Debra says with even the ghosts. I mean, could you imagine being like downtown and some dude wants to pick a fight with you and you're just like, no, be gone, out of my space.
I never,
Like I couldn't imagine a demon or some shit like listening to me when I'm like, I don't want you here. Get out of my personal space.
I never said to do that in a street fight situation, okay? Like, that's different.
But I think a demon's more powerful than somebody you're going to get into it with on the street.
You have sovereignty over your space. You do. That's a universal law. You have sovereignty over it. You just have to believe that. So,
I guess. I hope I don't ever have to try
it. Well, if you ever are confronted, just do it. If you have a dream with something and it's scary in there, try it. Just literally do it because it will go away. You just shoo them off, but not in a street fight, boys and girls.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay. Unless you're in West Side Story, then you could dance it away. But
actually, maybe that would actually work because they'd be so flippin' weirded out by what you're doing. It'd be like, okay, this bitch is crazy.
Thank you, Matt, for watching, and thank you. For those who don't know, I just won my second weekly podcast award on Parapost Network.
Nice.
What?
Congrats! Way to start. See, you do start with a bang.
Of course, my co-host in that show also play part in that because we do stream on Parapost Network. So I can't take solo credit for that. Always. For most of the week, yes. Not for Sundays though. But thank you, Matt. And I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling if you see Freddy Krueger pop up while you're sleeping, you can't just be like, "Go away, Freddy. I'm too busy right now."
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Hey, yes, you can. It didn't work for the Fresh Prince. It ain't gonna work for us.
Yeah, I know this kind of seems like a pipe dream to me. Just get out of here, you big meanie.
The fact that you could shoo them away, the fact that you supposedly can shoo them away makes me think they are in your head. Because any real negative entity that's coming after you is not going to go away because you all of a sudden say, I don't want you here. Go away. Like,
I mean, depending on the strength of it, it might try and come back. It might resist. I mean, I'm not saying they just like immediately shoot off, but you have sovereignty over your space. Over your body, over your spiritual space, you have sovereignty over that. But if it's a really nasty, powerful one, it might take a little more shooing than other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally
like the idea of running. Running or fight the fucker straight on.
I don't know. I mean, I have no experience with any of this. I mean, the spirits in my house is kind of chill. They don't try to confront me or anything. So I'll wake up sometimes and I'll see something out of the corner of my eye, like running across the hallway or something. But I'm just like, you do you. I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah.
I try to ignore that shit too.
Well, that works as long as it's not bothering you or, affecting your life in negative ways or whatever. If it's just a neutral kind of happens to be there, sharing your space, who cares, right?
But otherwise, like we're going Sam and Dean on that shit.
God.
So
I don't know.
So I'm all wrapped up, but Scott, I think this will be interesting. You actually asked people about their own experiences, right? You brought something because you've been.
So, yeah, I've done 3 different interviews asking people. I think I might have done 4, but I deleted I fucked up and deleted some of my already edited clips. So this is all unedited, shaky camera footage, but if you want to throw that in there, Jeremy, and then you can stop whenever, if anybody's story gets interesting.
This is Blair Witch style filming.
Yeah, well, something like that.
All right. Working on, motherfucker. All right. Working on sharing it now.
I uploaded this to my old fishing channel, so. I didn't have. Michael said last. Well, because Michael said last night we were doing the shit, and I didn't have time to like fully edit a video to put on my YouTube channel. So.
All right, is it showing? Okay, cool.
What typically happens when you do have sleep paralysis?
I woke up and I was felt like I was paralyzed. Couldn't get up. It felt like somebody was just sitting on my chest. Freaked out, and then about like maybe 2 minutes later, like I was able to fling myself out of bed.
I had my young son with me. Wake up, and I thought had the bed had pushed right next to the electrical outlet. I couldn't move, and there's lights, there's things I was seeing all over the place. And finally, I kind of rolled off of it, and it took me a few minutes to figure out what was going on. Didn't find out 2 years later what it was. I saw something in the shadows. That's all. There was creatures around there. I know that you see those things when you go into sleep paralysis, but I can't tell you exactly what they are. And there's some things I won't talk about. Like, she can say the word, I won't say it, but the people who
shadow people.
Yeah, I won't say it.
I'd be stuck, and then like I never like actually saw it, but like something would come and attack me, and then I'd kind of wake up, like, and then I'd like kind of like sweating and just like couldn't move, and something would come and attack me, and then I wake up, and that'd be it. Yeah.
A demon. Sometimes there's just a guy in the corner with no face, and then one time I felt like hands on my neck.
How long do they typically last?
It feels like forever, but it's probably like 2 minutes.
I've woken up and thought that I was awake. I think that's the definition. Like, I thought I was awake, but I wasn't. And I just kept going back under and waking up. But I don't think I ever like was physically awake and couldn't move or anything like that. But in my dream, it felt like it for sure.
Yeah, I have narcolepsy, so I've had like sleep paralysis for many times.
Did you get the full-on demon?
Yeah. I've had like a demonic dreams before, yeah.
I feel like I can't move, and I hear a really, really loud, like eardrum busting sound, and I can't.
That's kind of like your dead head thing.
It's really not for me. It's really scary.
I have like sleep.
Just want to say right there, exploding head syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's kind of like your exploding head thing.
That's interesting, eh?
Paralysis demons. Like my body like freezes and like I can't like move, but I can see like figures.
How long does it typically last?
I'm not really sure. Like it feels like a really long time, but it's probably like 30 seconds.
It's terrifying. You can't move, and then your mind starts playing tricks on you, and you think that it's something else controlling you, and you wonder if it's the devil, you know.
The first time I had sleep paralysis, I was actually lying on my beanbag with her, and as I was laying there, I had my arms crossed on me, and she was kind of laying on my arm, so it felt like there was like a bar across my chest that was like pushing my chest down as hard as like it could, and I couldn't move it. And
Did you say you were sleeping
I was
on a
trying to
beanbag?
like gasp for air and yell to get off of me, and that's like what it was like when I had sleep paralysis. And I'm sure it was only a few seconds, but I felt like it went on for like a minute or two.
Who's
And
sleeping
you,
on a beanbag?
you didn't see the demon or the hag lady? Or... I didn't. No, I didn't have a demon.
You didn't? I thought you said I was.
Well, you were kind of.
Oh,
the demon
somebody's
because
in
you're the one that was
trouble.
holding my arm down. But I didn't have any hallucination.
No, I haven't, but my girlfriend does. She gets the demon.
Yeah.
She's gotten to the point where she's so used to it that she's like kind of made friends with it. It doesn't even scare her anymore.
I wouldn't call it sleep paralysis, but when I used to do a lot of drugs, I'd taken a lot of pills and I was just kind of like zoned out and I kind of like freaked out and had a nightmarish like half awake state, but I don't think it was like full on sleep paralysis. Okay, yeah, I think I've had something like that, like because I was a big track guy in high school and sometimes I would like, I'm trying to run, I can't run in my dream, and that's like pretty sketchy. I hate that.
Okay. No shadow figures though?
I don't think so. I got chased by a bear in my dream when I was a kid.
Okay.
I don't think that counts though.
I was just stuck.
Yeah, for me it was the same thing.
No, but it scares the shit out of me.
It sounds terrifying. I can't imagine.
Just once.
Did you have the full-on demon?
It was the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Leatherface?
Okay.
Yeah, he
Really?
was coming up to me, and then started like trying to turn on his
That's
chainsaw. and
recorded
that's
on
when
an avalanche.
How long do you think you were out for?
No more than a minute.
But you couldn't move, you were kind of stuck?
Can't move or anything.
It's like I seen a TikTok like not even that long ago. Like
they explain like a whole different thing. It's not like what you really think it is. It's not like a demon holding you down. It's like some other shit. It's like something warning you or something you have control of. I really forgot what it was about, but it was pretty deep. It was just more than like, oh, something's holding you down, this and that.
Well, some
out of 40 people, that's all I got. Huh?
Yeah, well, that's more than I expected. I'll say that for sure. And hey, Harley, thank you for watching. I just got to guest on Harley's show, The Asylum with Harley and Lisa, talking female criminals. That was a fun episode. But we gotta do more criminal episodes in this show. But
criminal, we gotta do more conspiracy episodes.
I agree with that too, Scott. I do.
It's a whole.
We gotta get Michael converted.
All right. Maybe we'll get the girls from the asylum on here and do a crossover for the third week of some month.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't done a crossover in a long time because our people we invite on keep wimping out on us, as you and Michael put it. Scott. But
I didn't do wimped out. Who wimped out?
Apparently
I had
Michael's
that one
guest.
guy cancel last time, but
we still haven't seen your flat Earth guy.
We've had some good guests, though.
Yeah, we haven't.
Really good guests, actually.
We
I
have.
gotta get the flat Earth guy on.
I want the flat Earth guy so I could tear him a new one.
That could be your New Year's resolution. We'll hunt him down and get him pinned down to a show.
Well, I'm in contact with him. Like,
well, I mean, I'm sure you are. You guys probably have secret handshakes and everything. But
yeah, we're talking about the second coming of Jesus.
Oh God.
Well, I liked those interviews. That was really interesting that they're all like they're very similar, right? Everybody thinks that it felt like, like you said, 20 minutes, and then it's probably more like 2 or, a matter of seconds or whatever. What is your guys' theory? Is this just something in the brain that's flashing off? Do you believe it's another dimension you're actually moving into?
I think it's DMT releasing into your brain so you can program into the actual matrix and you see the fourth dimensional entities.
I don't hate that theory, Scott. I really don't hate that theory.
I think that makes a lot of sense because I think you can actually do it through meditation, whatever. Your brain can actually produce that, right? And then they go and they induce it with actually taking DMT or whatever. You're able to do that as well that way, right?
Well, the studies are getting more and more like it might be the fact that all dreams are a slight release of DMT. So maybe like something like that's just a little bit more and you're sort of stuck in between lucid dreaming and dreaming.
I could see that kind of. But I don't think it's you going into another dimension per se. If anything, I think it's creatures from another dimension coming through to our dimension. And that's why Scott's Matrix theory kind of makes sense to me in a way, because it's what if it is like creatures what if these are the creatures that can actually control the Matrix and it's them coming in to try to fix something while you're sleeping?
Yeah, I don't know. I think these are like fourth dimensional creatures and our creators from the fifth dimension.
Kind of like how these, kind of like how, what do you call it? Like how the creepy landlord comes into your apartment while you're sleeping to fix the cameras he put in.
that's worse than any of the entities.
Oh yeah, but still,
Can I tell the landlord? No, get out of here.
Shoo! You do not have
you don't have dominance over me.
You can, but you might get chloroform rag in your mouth. But
yeah, he's gonna show you who's dominant.
In his Russian accent, most likely. But yes. So, Debra, what did you bring today?
Well, my intro, like describing what it is. That's all I brought. I brought a picture of what people see. And this is this kind of shows how it's been all through history, stories of this. People have been sharing experiences like this. So
I've got Reddit stories too. I'll read after you, Jeremy.
I got BuzzFeed, so I'll do BuzzFeed. You do Reddit.
Okay.
But let me show Debra's picture here. That's Debra's picture. as creepy as it may be.
So a lot of them get the feeling of it sitting on the chest and not being able to breathe as well, right? Like that's very common.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
weird.
That is very common.
There's like the hag and then the demon, the like no-faced black
The shadow
entity
people often-
shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
wonder what that is. Is that something genetically passed through our subconscious, or is it an actual? Like, who are these three people? I'd love to interview them.
I'm sure you
In
will,
real
Scott.
life. In real life. Not in their
Well, I mean,
domain.
Scott's like, in my location, my time, my place. I'll pick
That's
a
right.
place.
On my
But,
terms.
I mean, it kind of goes into the same thing though. Like people see different types of these recurring ghosts, like the
Mhm.
Hat Man, the plaid man, the plaid man. Like it's always a guy wearing a plaid shirt, but yet he's seen the same guy is seen all across the world, same as the Hat Man. Like it doesn't make.
Do you mean a plaid shirt?
Yeah, plaid shirt.
Okay.
Yes, Scott. Plaid shirt, plaid
I
shirt.
didn't-
What the fuck ever.
Didn't know if that was some weird wherever you live thing.
But then if you think about it, pretty much everything we talk about on the show is that, like, right, black-eyed children, or, you know, all these things, there's, you know, common themes through many different things.
Which
areas.
tells you these are worldwide things,
Yeah.
global things, if you would say.
Right.
And
I got one from Nicaragua, I know for sure, but I have either of you guys heard about any like people in Asia or India or Africa or something talking about the same thing?
I can't say I have, but I do have. I mean, but I don't. Then again, these people I have on here, I don't know where they're from, so who knows?
But I would say that this is common global, like this is, you know,
I mean,
across the globe.
nightmares are a global thing, and so why wouldn't sleep paralysis be a global thing?
Well, I'm just talking about like the description of the demons through their lens. I wonder what that would be like.
I don't know, but let's get into the fun part of this, because some of these BuzzFeed ones I'm looking at now are this could be fun. This is gonna be fun. This first one was submitted by Ryan 4708C4CE1, which is totally a BuzzFeed generated username, but okay. I've been having the same dream regularly since I was a child. I wake up and I'm in bed. There is someone in the house. I can hear the footsteps moving around, coming up the stairs slowly. If I stay still, maybe the person will come for me. I can hear him coming down the hall, and I can see his shadow. He's a minotaur. He has a knife, and he's coming for me. I scream. I wake up relieved, except there's someone at the bedroom door, and this time I can't scream. So this person has a dream about a minotaur with a knife coming for them while they're in bed, and then they wake up and they see their sleep paralysis demon sitting in the doorway.
Doesn't this seem more like a Jeremy fantasy novel?
No.
I think that one might have been made up.
I could share the fucking screen, dude. I like minotaurs, but I ain't writing no novels about minotaurs.
I didn't say you made it up.
I didn't make it up, and no one else did either, I'm pretty sure, but well, okay. This one's a little more on the normal side while Debra gets kisses from her boyfriend.
He's being all lovey.
But my dogs were outside in the snow today playing off leash, and they freaking loved it. But this one was via Jen Clayton from Facebook. I get sleep paralysis quite a lot, but you don't get used to it. It's just intense pressure holding you down. I can't speak. I can usually see the shadow of a dark figure out of the corner of my eye, but I can't turn my head to look at it. Luckily for me, my new partner is now used to this, and we have a code. I start breathing really quickly and loudly, and if he notices that, he helps me snap out of it. And that sounds more realistic.
Yeah, a little less Jeremy Smut fantasy story.
Jesus.
Damn it, Scott. Okay. This one's creepy as shit. I couldn't move. My chest felt crushed. It was hard to breathe, and I could hear loud hammering. A few feet away, a robed figure sat in my chair and slowly moved towards me. As it got closer, a menacing skull appeared. The only thing I could move were my eyeballs. And that was from Daniel Dalton via The Nightmare.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Hell says the word hammering.
Hammering. But see if I can find one that's a little different here. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, the picture on this one. But I usually see someone come into my room with a crazed grin, staring at me. I try to scream, but I can't. They lean over and start suffocating me. It's a sense of overwhelming helplessness. The whole time I'm just repeating to myself, wake up, wake up, wake up. And that was submitted by Marama Gravet via Facebook. There you go, Scott. That doesn't sound American. So
there you go.
And I mean, that sounds like a fantasy for somebody, not me personally, but somebody. But see, that's the thing with sleep paralysis, though. It gets to the point where they're all the same.
Yeah, it's definitely a common thread, the stories, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Another one. I started experiencing sleep paralysis during the exam period of my first year at university. Oh, there you go, Scott. Not American, because no one in America calls it university. They call it college. A very stressful time.
It's still a Western nation.
The first time it happened, I woke up with the feeling I was being suffocated. My bed was literally swallowing me up. The more I panicked and the faster my pulse and breathing became, the quicker I was disappearing into the bed. I couldn't move a muscle, and my attempts to scream were silent. After I calmed myself down, I kind of drifted out of my paralyzed state and woke up completely. The second time it happened, I awoke to see a very tall man standing by my door, holding something behind his back and moving towards me very slowly. Once again, I couldn't move and couldn't make a sound. It is definitely the most terrifying experience. And that was submitted by Sophie W. Long letters and numbers. But yeah.
Did you get any with the actual demon stories? I tried to get Sean from Pixelated Paranormal on because he's had some pretty crazy stories before.
Okay, well, here's one that's fucking hilarious. I have to read this one. I have to. You ready, Scott?
Ready?
I see manifestations of horror in my bedroom at least once a week. From random people chilling on a chair at the bottom of my bed, to creepy old ladies, to swarms of flying ants or bats. The worst thing I saw was someone hanging right above my head. I couldn't move. I wanted to cry. I couldn't sleep in my room for a few days after that. The likelihood of it happening increases whether there's someone in my bed. This is mega awkward. Recently, some Tinder dude told me in the morning that I was like the fucking Exorcist last night, and he Blades wasn't talking about activities that happened when I was awake. Fuck my life. And that was submitted by Anisha Fiona.
I mean, that's not funny. That's probably terrible.
That's pretty funny.
I thought the Tinder part was pretty fucking hilarious, but here you go, Scott. Here's a demon for you. My worst experience with sleep paralysis was after I'd been up all night doing an essay. When I finished, I immediately dozed off. The next thing I knew, I thought I had completely woken up, except there was a shadow demon looming over the end of my bed. It didn't have a face, but I could feel it staring at me, and it felt like pure evil. I tried with my whole body to scream, but nothing came out, which only made me panic more. It felt like the demon was about to attack me, then its head twitched to the side, and he pounced on my chest, sort of thrashing at me. I felt like it was suffocating me. I tried to close my eyes again, and put all my energy into trying to wake up and move my body. The whole time with the demon hallucination still attacking me. When I was finally fully awake, I lay in bed for about half an hour, shaking and next to tears. Probably the scariest thing I've ever experienced. I thought it was just a really vivid nightmare until a few months later when I first read about sleep paralysis online. Submitted by Lola.
Well, that one, that's that one, the solid black figure, right? That one's pretty common.
I mean, like the
Kind of
shop.
crazy.
Yeah.
It must be scary because that guy in your interview wouldn't even say the name. Like he's.
Yeah.
Made
Well,
us-
and I couldn't imagine like sitting with your son too. Like that would make it even worse. Like you couldn't protect your son. You're just sort of stuck.
Well, here's one that's actually brings up a good point. Maybe I got sleep paralysis a couple times when I was a kid, but it became really bad in my second year of uni. I would wake up unable to move and feel something sitting in my chest. It got worse when I started to see things, always in the corner of the room, a dark figure I knew was watching me. Sometimes it would whisper things, which of course freaked me out. One time, I was dragged down the bed by this dark figure, unable to stop it. But I managed to force myself to wake up. When we moved out of the house after second year, the sleep paralysis stopped, and I've only had 2 episodes in the 6 years since. So, is
that
this
sounds
located?
like a haunting, like it's there. Like
yeah, no.
I was gonna say location based.
Well, I noticed quite a few of the stories too. It seemed kind of location based. I wonder if it is like
just straight up a haunting, messing with you while you're sleeping.
Because there are a couple of them that all happen in like one single house.
Time to move.
All right. This one's kind of creepy. I like these kind of ones. I was living at home with my mom. I was unwell, so I was in bed all day. My mom was home with me. I must have fallen asleep as I never heard her open my bedroom door or walk across the room, but I felt her weight sit on the bed beside me. I heard her pick up my cup of water as if checking if it needed refilling, and I felt her brush the hair from my face. Then all of a sudden I was being choked. I felt hands around my neck. I couldn't open my eyes as if they were glued shut, and I tried to raise my arms to break free, but it was as if they'd been nailed to the mattress. I struggled to breathe and felt myself getting lightheaded. Then all of a sudden it went, and I could open my eyes and move again. My mom was nowhere to be seen. She was upstairs at the neighbor's house.
That's pretty freaky.
Yeah, and that was submitted by Rebecca Jenny Alley.
So I've had a nightmare that was kind of similar to that, but I could move around in the dream. But it was there was a family reunion, and so like we lived and this is real life. There was a family reunion, and where we lived was like right in the yard, like where everybody was camped and stuff. So people were coming in and out. I didn't know it was my ex-husband's family, so I didn't know a lot of the people. And in the dream, I woke up. He was away at work, so I was alone in the house. And there's this guy, and he's like digging in our closet in the bedroom. And I was like, I literally thought it was just a relative, of theirs. And I was like, are you looking for something? Do you need something? And in the dream, he turns around, he's got a belt, and you know how they snap, like you can hear it, like he pulls it tight, a snap. And I turned to run, and he throws it around my neck, and I was scratching in the dream. And I kid you not, I woke up from that dream, turned on the light, and the power went out in a second, like literally a flash of light, and the power went out, and I was so fucking scared. And in the morning, I had actually scratched at my neck. There was actual scratch marks on it. And but it was a dream. It wasn't sleep paralysis. I mean, obviously I could move around, but I had actually scratched my neck for real. That was the scariest dream.
My scary dreams always involve cops chasing me. There's like a monster chasing me, but I'm more afraid of getting away with the cops.
I wonder why, Scott. I wonder why.
Isn't that fucked up?
I mean, it's you. I don't question a lot of things with you, but I don't know, Scott. I don't know.
Guilty conscience.
Well, I think I told you guys I got my first ever speeding ticket. Did I?
Oh, lately?
Yeah, like a month ago.
Maybe.
Oh, really? Your first ever? Oh my gosh, I get speeding tickets all the time.
Well,
you know how fast I was going?
5 miles over speed limit?
29 miles an hour.
Seriously? And what? 15 or 5?
In a fucking flashing school zone that my son goes to an hour before his school started. Fuck the police.
It's a great song by NWA. Yes, but
And to all of our police listeners out there, turn this off. Get out of here. We don't like it. At least 1/3 of this program doesn't.
Well, cops aren't all bad.
They're welcome to.
I've never met a good one.
I've met lots and lots. I have friends.
I mean, Deborah's also met some bad ones, some of her exes, but. Okay, oh, no, I'm sorry. They're not police. They're Mounties.
Oh, yeah. They show up like on horse and shit out there.
It's funny.
The cops in Utah were really cool, dude. I'd seen them like change people's tires when we first moved here. Like I'd seen that twice. In LA County, they just tow your shit. Like old grandma, fuck you, I don't care, pay me. Like, crippled person, fuck you, I don't care, pay me. But honestly, all those cocksuckers moved up here.
They're just people. There's some good ones. There's probably, there's a few bad ones, obviously, but it's like anything. There's people are people, no matter what job they're doing.
Yeah, and when you come from LA County and there's like 15 different police gangs selling shit to the cartel, you learn to fucking hate these cocksuckers.
That is prevalent in a lot of movies, so that's where I get my information about that. But yeah,
they're documentaries, dude. They know they're there. They don't clean the shit up. So.
Oh, they know, but they can't control it. But
yeah, and now they've moved up here.
All right,
go back to California, fuckheads.
Well, those Mormons got some underground dealings going too. But here, we all know about the FLDS.
Nice way.
We all know what the FLDS does, dude. But here's another short but sweet one. There have been terrifying times where I rolled over and looked at my boyfriend only to see a black and red striped face looming over his shoulder. That would creep me the fuck out.
That would make me think he's got an entity attached too.
Yeah, right. Like
time to get rid of the boyfriend until he clears his energy.
He shoos the demon away.
Yeah, shoo him away.
Well, here you go, Debra. This one's for you, I think. I've woken up in my dorm room. It was a stormy night around 4 a.m. and still quite dark. Though there was a yellowish-orange light from the street lamp outside, the window at the foot of my bed had been left cracked open and was banging in the wind. I got up to shut it and stumbled back to bed, lying on my right side facing the wall with my eyes closed. It began with tactile hallucinations. I felt as if a pair of slightly clammy hands with thick fingers were gently stroking my face. In particular, my lips, eyes, and ears and prying at my mouth. Eventually, this feeling gave way to prickling pins and needles over my body, and I felt very cold and buzzing as if I were electrified or covered in static shocks. At the same time, a heavy ringing began in my ears, very loud and in an even tone. It was at this point I got a sensation that there was someone else in the room very close to me. I was able to open my eyes, and I felt this weight pressing down on the left side of my ribs and shoulder. The light from the street was blocked by shadow, and I realized the shadow had a solid form. A squat creature with cat-like features and claws, though humanoid and compact. It was about 3 or 4 feet tall, sitting atop me. It had pointed ears and pale yellow eyes with no pupils. I could distinguish its face beyond the outline in its glowing eyes. I knew it was a demonic force of some sort, and I tried to scream. I felt the air leaving my throat, but only heard a faint whimper. I don't know how long this lasted, but eventually the apparition was gone, and I was able to move. I got up and turned on my bedside light and sat up until dawn. Submitted by Emily Burkink via Facebook.
That's pretty freaking terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, a cat-like humanoid creature. I mean, that would scare the shit out of me. So.
Right? That's a lot of detail. That's pretty. Yeah.
All right. What do you think of that one, Scott?
That would be pretty crazy. 4 foot tall little hobbit person coming at you.
Cat-like hobbit person, Scott. Cat-like. But, I mean, that'd be like that Stephen King movie. What's it called? Not Cat People, but God damn it. Yeah,
I watched that movie Cats from like the 30s this year. Yeah, that shit sucked.
Is it Sleepwalkers? I think it's what it's called.
No, it was Cat People from 1930.
I know. That's a classic. But oh, yeah, okay. Sleepwalkers. There's a movie called Sleepwalkers. It's a Stephen King movie. It's about these immortal cat-like werewolf type creatures that apparently the mortal enemy of them is basic house cat, but they have to, and like it's about a mother and son combination of the creature that are basically incestuous because it's Stephen King and why not, and and basically because like it's creepy. Like they have to feed off virgin blood to survive.
Jeez.
It's Stephen King. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah.
It's Stephen fucking King. But I love him. But that movie was creepy as shit.
He made a couple good movies, like Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption. Those were good.
He only made 1 or 2 movies actually. Everybody else made movies of his books.
Yeah.
I get it. He hated The Shining too, but
The Shining is a fucking joke.
Thank you. Finally.
Dr. Sleep's a better freaking movie than The Shining, but
Dr. Sleep wasn't bad.
We'll agree to disagree.
The Shining book is amazing, but the movie's horrible.
Is it worth reading?
Oh God, yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh. I want to read Dr. Sleep now because I read The Shining. I want to read Dr. Sleep. Like The Shining is an amazing book.
Yeah, the movie sucked ass, dude. I don't see what the big hubbub's about.
To do that book as an appropriate movie for the book, you would probably need to do a trilogy, or you would need to make it a TV series.
Well, it was long enough.
And yeah, but yet they skipped over half the important shit. But Scott, that's all I got from BuzzFeed. What do you got from Reddit since we got?
First of all, you guys, I used to sleepwalk a lot. Did you do that? Like, have you ever had bad dreams where you get up? When I was a kid, I'd sleepwalk all the time.
Okay.
For one time.
Funny fucking story. I mean, it wasn't exactly sleepwalking per se, but so I was at my grandma's house one time when I was like 8 or 9 probably. And like I was sick. I was there during the day because I was sick, and I was taking a nap on the couch. I was home from school, and like I got up probably on kids' cold medication or whatever, and I got up and I said to my grandma, like, I have to go bathroom, and she was like, "Oh, you know where it is," which that's what she always said. And I proceeded to walk over to the refrigerator, open it up, and start peeing in it.
Oh no, that's a nightmare for somebody else. Fuck.
That reminds me of a story I did too. Yeah.
And I actually, all I can hear to this day is my grandmother screaming in the background, "That's not where it is." So yeah, that's I honestly forgot about that story till you said sleepwalking. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I had the exact similar story. One night I woke up drunk. Like I don't remember any of it, but my wife said that I woke up, I got out of bed, and I opened our fucking, I don't know, like our sock drawer or something, and I started peeing into the sock drawer. And my wife was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm going to the bathroom. Leave me alone."
Oh no.
And then just got back in bed, and that was it.
I hope she made you do the laundry the next day after that.
God help your wife, dude. God help your wife.
God knows if I've done it other times. But no, I don't. I know some people, like, they fucking, especially the Ambien people, right? Like, they're making full-on turkey dinners.
Yeah, some people eat, right? Like, wouldn't that be crazy? You wake up and all the food's gone and you don't even remember enjoying it. You've just eaten it all. Like,
I mean, I can't say that's not an excuse I made before when I ate something in my house when I was a kid that I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why that cake's all gone, Mom. I must have been sleepwalking. Yeah. No, Mom. We were just out. Me and my brother were just outside smoking a blunt, and we came back in and finished the cake off. But
my wife said she got her first carpet cleaner from that incident.
Yeah.
As a bribery gift, or as a I needed to clean the sock drawer gift?
As a I'm sorry gift.
Yeah.
Bribery gift. Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Well, who hasn't peed in their house accidentally?
Most people, Scott. Most people.
Yeah.
Not most of my friends.
Well, you hang out with a certain crowd, and that's what happens, Scott.
Okay,
Scott,
I got some stories here.
Yeah.
So let me turn this down a little bit. These are all off of Reddit, different months, different times. I didn't read them. I just looked for the longer ones. So let's see how they did. First up, we got LMLN Jeopardy. And this was written about 8 months ago. I've had sleep paralysis for decades now. I still remember the first time I had it. I actually thought I had died since I didn't know what it was. I was terrified. Luckily, it was always just the paralysis. I never had it with hallucinations until the one I had a month ago. For the first time after countless episodes of sleep paralysis, I had an experience with what they call the old hag. I was paralyzed in bed, and I felt someone was kneeling next to me on the bed, leaning over my ear. I could almost feel their long hair touching my face. Then it started whispering, lovely, lovely, lovely. It was freaky as fuck. That's disconcerting, because I hope one day I don't fucking
Hear that whisper?
Well, like this guy said, or girl, or whoever said that they had it quite a few times, and then they got the hallucination. I don't ever want the hallucination,
Yeah.
especially that shit. That sounds pretty fucked.
So realistic, right? Like, yeah, that'd be freaky.
The next one I got is from Lily Spinola. And this one's 5 years ago. And I did notice, like, I didn't read all of them, but I read through some of it. A lot of them happened when they were young.
Again, if there is, like, you know, we're actually tiptoeing into other dimensions, children are more sensitive, right? It makes sense.
They're more
That is,
susceptible, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. So, old Lily Spinola says, I was 8 and I had woken up in the middle of the night to see a pitch black, darker than my room, tall lady with really long hair standing at the foot of my bed. I couldn't make out any facial features or anything, but I knew it was a woman. I couldn't really move or breathe, but I didn't want to because I didn't want to make any noise. I had never heard of sleep paralysis, so for years I thought I saw a ghost. I never slept in that room again. Understandable.
Yeah.
That sounds more like a ghost story though than a freaking.
I was gonna say, like, maybe sometimes it's hard for people to differentiate if it's sleep paralysis versus paranormal actual experience.
Well, she said she couldn't move though.
Yeah, I guess.
So, and that I don't know. This was, what was it? A tall,
like the hag.
Yeah, kind of the hag, but it was just like that black creature, right? It was darker than the room.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was a man from most other people. Maybe it differs. Who knows? Okay, so the next one was written about 8 months ago. And it is from It Is Me the Guy. So It Is Me the Guy says, terrifying without a doubt. I'm hoping to hear more like this. Here is mine. I regularly encounter sleep paralysis. One that stuck with me was waking up one night and seeing a mangled figure in the corner of my room on the ceiling, which would make me fucking piss my pants. It was a dark, shadowy silhouette, similar to the last one, with limbs contorted in unnatural positions. My room was just how I remembered it when going to sleep. Small power lights blinking from the router, ceiling fan spinning, and bed thing I know the figure darts down the wall in an almost crab-like looking run you'd see in horror movies. And it crawls up to the bottom of my bed from my feet. It ends up face to face with me, and its contorted arms over my legs, bent over my waist, looking me in the face. All I could make out was the same shadowy dark silhouette with no discernible features. I lay there, meaning, I'm assuming that's a typo, crying, trying to scream, but am unable to. Next thing I know, my eyes open and I'm sitting in my bed looking amongst my room. Nothing has changed. Everything looks just as it did in the sleep paralysis nightmare, except the figure is gone. I look around the room, lights still blinking, fan still spinning, everything identical to my dream. This one certainly stuck with me. Happened about a year ago. A year and 8 months ago.
Okay, well, Scott, one, you wouldn't piss your pants, you would piss in your socks, but we all know this. But
maybe I'd just wake up and piss on the demon. See how he likes that.
Who are you, R. Kelly? I'm gonna piss on you.
Well, I bet you that demon would be a little more scared, wouldn't he?
Dude, demons are probably into golden showers. Who the hell knows?
Why?
Okay, I got
the conversations always go this way. Like,
because Scott brings out the best of me. What can I say? We're like brothers.
Hey, you guys didn't send me any pictures so I could make some tarot cards of you. I thought we were like for real on this tarot card deck.
My Facebook is full of them. Feel free to take one.
I'll send you. So you want a funny face though, or you?
Yeah, it has to be a funny face.
Just search Debra's name and look up realtor.
Shut up! Don't tell people to do that.
I didn't say your last name.
Come on, everybody with thumbs up. Well, okay.
Well, we're not all trying to be the jester card, Scott. I mean, I'll look regal. You want me to be the king card, but
the next one comes from Whitney Houston. And I guess too many people had Whitney Houston.
This. I mean, for every Bobby Brown, there's Whitney Houston.
So this one happened 5 years ago. My first and only experience was a little less than a year ago, 6 years ago, to be exact, from my paperwork printed here. My room was set up so that when I laid in bed, I would see my window first. One night I woke up randomly and I was looking at my curtain, which had some black flowers and spirals. My eyes fixated on a specific spiral, and the more I looked at it, the bigger it got. Eventually, it morphed into a dark figure resembling a girl with sharp teeth and brown eyes with red undertones. The figure crept towards me, and that's when I realized I couldn't move or scream. My screams were muffled, and that's like exactly how my shit was. Like I couldn't for the life of me, trying to throw myself out of bed. But I kept screaming, hoping someone would hear me. The figure was on top of me, and I physically felt her hitting my arm. That's when I woke up terrified, and my arm was in pain. So this one kind of, to me, sounds more serious than the other ones, because I could see, like,
hey, Scott,
you know, if you were hallucinating.
There's a comment for you on the screen.
I'm on my phone, dude. I can't see comments. Oh, TV show, sleep paralysis demon. He pissed on her floor.
Oh, you're right. I've seen Evil. You're right. And he's, I don't know if he's technically a sleep paralysis demon. It's Evil. It's a show on CBS. It's on.
Did I see that one? No, I only saw bits and pieces. I didn't see the demon pee.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I saw that.
Does demon pee burn through the floor? Like, what? I would think it's
it's just a sign. It's just a sign of disrespect.
Probably 151, dude. That would give you a good night, good time.
151 will leave you 151 will have you passed out for 2 days. But yeah.
This one seems more realistic though, because like if like let's say it is a DMT state and you're staring at like a pattern and then the pattern changes into something.
Yeah, right?
Right? Yeah. And then like something comes out of the pattern. I could see that. Or maybe my whole DMT theory's bunk. Okay, let's get to the next one here. This one looks, let me see if I'll have to flip page. Mid-turn, yes I will. Get ready for that. So this one comes from Greenhead 1991. And it was written...
Who doesn't love some Greenhead? I said, who doesn't love some Greenhead?
This one was written 5 years ago. And it states, I've had sleep paralysis a few times now. This scares the fuck out of me. I only won it the once. Scariest one was when I was sleeping in an attic in my parents' house. You could clearly see the ladder up to my room from my bed. And in my paralysis, I could see this girl slowly coming up the ladder. Looked just like the girl from The Grudge. Fuck that. And slowly crawling towards me. Then, triple speed climbing on top of me with that wide open mouth face she makes. All while I was paralyzed from the neck down, not being able to talk or scream or wake myself up. Pretty fucking scary, dude. Well, why does he say paralyzed from the neck down if he can't talk or, like, that would be fully paralyzed, right? Or maybe he could just move his head?
I mean,
that one might be bullshit. Sorry, green head guy.
It's interesting, Scott, because on the Reddit page too, there was, I mean, not Reddit, on the BuzzFeed page I use, there was a couple that described women that looked like the Ring girl or the Grudge girl, and it was like, I skipped them because, you know, whatever. We've had enough of that bullshit. But I just
you haven't watched The Grudge?
I don't.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
I,
Jeremy!
I've seen parts of it. My mom loved all those movies when I was a teenager. She loved The Grudge, The Ring. I've seen parts of all of them, but to me, it just looks so stupid. The best version of The Ring is fucking Scary Movie 3.
You should skip The Grudge and go straight to Ju-On.
Well, Scott, I'll tell you right now.
I like The Grudge, though. I thought it was good.
The Grudge is good, yeah, but he's not going to watch it.
Scott, I have a J horror and a K horror bracket, so I will at some point, if someone picks these for the wheel on my show, then I will be watching them eventually. I'll be watching a shitload of sometime movies that month, apparently. But
and then you'll be having dreams like these.
I don't dream. There are things to help you not dream. Thank you.
Well, I wonder if, like, maybe, like, if that's common. I don't know if that specific demon's common, but I wonder if maybe that's how the character for The Grudge got started. That would be interesting if we could get that fucking writer on our show.
Well, actually, it's funny. It's funny because it just made me think. There was a guy who called into Monsters Among Us, I believe. I believe he called in, or someone called in talking about this guy. But basically, the guy who made the Predator movies, his father was military, and he gave me the guy who made the director who made the Predator movies, or producer, whoever the fuck it was, or the writer, whoever it was, said that he wrote those based off of things his father told him about being in the military.
That's interesting.
Because there was a call in about this guy who pulled off at a rest stop somewhere in Western or Central America. And he basically said, like, he pulled off at a rest stop. He went in the woods. He went to take a piss. And all of a sudden, like, it was like the forest kind of like phased out, like it was in camouflage or something. And like all of a sudden you could see these guys standing there and like they weren't there a minute ago. So it was all like a episode based around like calls based on camouflage technology on Earth.
The beginning of Project Bluebeam. Believe you me, we're gonna see some aliens soon.
What about you?
Aliens.
What do you think about people who are in like comas, like actually paralyzed and medically induced kind of comas and stuff? Do you think they kind of, they might be seeing things like this?
Fuck that, dude.
in
Pull
and
the
out?
plug.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If I'm in a coma, then actually no, because I kind of want to see. I've talked to enough people who have been in NDEs or near-death experiences, and I kind of am curious what would happen if I was in coma.
Right? Like, would it be scary, or would you just be sort of still projecting, having other dimension kind of things, and having a good time doing it? Or it'd be interesting to hear somebody who's been in one.
I've had people say that like they had a 3-day. Kellen McFludginger. Sorry if I screwed up your name, buddy, but he had a multiple day out. He didn't even know how many days it was really, but it ended up being like 3 days. Found out when he got out of the coma. But he had a 3-day conversation with a man in a doorway, which he only could guess is God. But he had a 3-day conversation with the guy in the doorway about why he wanted to go back when his ever after was waiting for him.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's really interesting.
It's one of the first episodes of my podcast. Debra, go listen.
Okay, I will do that.
Have you guys ever had a concussion?
Well,
what's that?
Have you guys ever had a concussion?
I fractured my skull, but I broke my back. I did a whole bunch of stuff in a car accident when I was 19. I was airlifted by stars. But yeah, so I had a pretty serious knock to the noggin.
I mean, I don't think I ever had a concussion per se. I've fallen down while taking a piss and woke up however long later on the floor with my.
I've done that too.
I love your stories, you guys. I've had such a boring life compared to you.
No, trust me, Debra. My life's been pretty fucking boring for the most part. I haven't experienced yet that shit Scott has.
Yeah, doing the concussion thing, dude. It's like taking 100 bong rips to the head when you wake up. You're just like, whoa.
Been there, done that.
Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts.
Dude, 420 my second year in college. I smoked myself sober.
What was your first time smoking like, Jeremy?
I did for the first whole 3 or 4 days I smoked. I couldn't get high.
See, that is the exact. I bought a baggie in school when I was in middle school, and
I was 19, but okay.
Well, everybody was talking about how they'd smoke like a whole 5-bag and blah blah, like all the kids shit, right? So I made this little Listerine straw tinfoil bong, like fucking total middle school bullshit. And I took 10 hits, and then was like, I can't feel it. And then I took 10 more hits, and then I stood up, and it was like, it's so fucked up, dude. Yeah. Back to sleep paralysis. Okay, I got a couple more here. This one comes from Wee Wee Boo Boo Burst MC. This one was written about 5 years ago. We'll see how this one goes. I was a new mom. I didn't see that starting like that from Wee Wee Boo Boo Boost Bus EMT. So I was a new mom taking a nap while my 1-month-old slept. Screw the laundry and dishes, I needed sleep. She woke up, and although I heard her and wanted to get up, I could not move. I was terrified that I was paralyzed for life and couldn't even scream for help. After what seemed like an eternity, I was able to get up and take care of my baby. I never napped alone again. Yeah, that's kind of my...
Yeah, like you were saying, not being able to protect, your child in a newborn, even worse, right? Like,
that's
yeah.
I mean, not being able to protect your child in any degree is freaking horrifying. But
Nah, it's a pretty fucked up one. Okay, and then I think this, maybe it's not. No, I think I got a couple more here. Hold on, I'm trying to do this one-handed. No, yeah, I got some more. Oh, hold up. I gotta make sure I can turn this page mid-read. Okay, so this one comes from 16. And it was done 5 years ago. I was 5 years old in Nicaragua at the time, and we were just setting up the house. So we didn't have beds for everyone, so my mom and sister and I had to share a king-size bed for a little bit. Once I fell asleep. It's a horrible sentence structure. I woke up and my eyes were immediately flew open. Since I was 5, I was still, for the most part, afraid of the dark, so I tried to pull the blanket over me and turn to my side. That's when I noticed that I couldn't move. I was freaking out in my head, and that's when I noticed a large pitch-black man in the corner of my room. Quotations, this is a popular hallucination for people with sleep paralysis. End of quotations. So I tried to scream for help, and that's when I noticed I couldn't speak. I'm almost positive that I had fainted because I was extremely easy to scare as a child. But that's not how the story ends. I woke up in the same bed that morning, still unable to move or speak, and without trying, without wanting to move, I rolled to the left of my bed, over my sister, and off the bed. As soon as I hit the ground, I regained control of my body and started screaming and crying because of that all night long experience. So that one's a little sus. Come on, Nicaragua. I was hoping for something better.
No, you'd like Nicaragua, Scott. They're all about DMT and those plants that you can take and experience a spiritual trip.
Yeah, I'm living in the jungle and shit.
Yeah,
which would be cool.
I know people that have resorts there you could live at.
Yeah, if I was rich.
Yeah,
okay.
Or if you volunteer for some stuff, they don't know what it might do. I mean, then maybe they'll let you come.
I got one more here, and this one comes from Martin 31, and it's 5 years ago, so this might be Martin 36 now. My sleep paralysis is always weird as hell. It usually starts with a very fuzzy feeling behind my eyes and head. I will be lifted above my bed and dropped. It feels like I keep falling and falling forever until I shake myself out of it. Over time, I have had out-of-body feeling. Hold on a second. Feels like I keep falling. Yeah. So other times, he forgot the S. I have had an out-of-body feeling like I can see myself lying in the bed from above. Only once I've seen a demon-like figure. Other times, and this is so weird, there will be sex demons or AKA incubus succubus type figures that have sex with me. But that is more of a lucid dreaming type dream where it feels real, but I am not in control. Weirdest part about it is that in my weird ass dreams, if I got touched, then they disappear. Thing about sleep paralysis or lucid dreaming is it's hard to tell if it's real or just a dream fucking with your head. I've learned how to realize when I'm in a dream and how to get out of them, though, which is good. Don't know if anyone else has ever experienced anything specific like this, though. That's a good way to end. This guy's a nut job.
Well, it sounds like he APs a bit, like he goes out of body, right? Like that falling feeling, you get slammed back in your body. That's astral projecting. Like he's out, and then you get pulled back in, and it is really jarring.
That's it. He said he'd one demon vision, but the rest of it's all what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Oh well, sweet
I
dreams tonight.
I think sleep paralysis. I really think sleep paralysis is one of those things that, like, until you experience it, you will never put as much belief into it as those who have experienced it.
It's like, it's like anything, like paranormal experiences or whatever. You know.
Well, I mean, no, that's not
true.
Debra, that's not true. I have never actually met an alien to my knowledge, but I will believe in them to my dying day, and I believed in them since I was a kid. So, no.
Project Bluebeam.
But there's a lot of people who naysay that until they have an experience, right? There's a lot of people that will dismiss anything.
Well, they're idiots.
There
are idiots everywhere. What do you want us to do?
Yeah. True that.
So I guess it's Michael's turn to pick again.
No.
I was gonna throw out, you guys. I have an idea about. I wouldn't mind doing a show just talking about consciousness and like the Neuralink thing where
all right.
versus
Debra.
Yes.
We will do that one on the 21st gladly. Next week, I feel like we're losing some of our audience because we're going away from the main paranormal topics. So, and I believe next week was my pick to begin with because I haven't had a pick in like 3 fucking months. Because every time it gets to my pick, we do a bracket, which it technically is my pick. That's just our end of the month thing. So, next, and I was thinking today, I'm like, all right, you know what? We haven't talked about in a long freaking time, and there's so much out there about this. We need to do it next week.
Better not be Bigfoot.
Dogman, part 2.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You don't think they're fake yet? How many episodes do we got to do?
There are podcasts dedicated to dogmen, dude.
How the fuck are people dumb enough to listen to that shit?
We don't mean that. Come back and listen next week. You want to hear
We
it.
don't think that.
Dude, dogmen exist. There's been so much proof of it that's fucking beyond like dispute at this point. Dogmen freaking exist.
What if we waited until for Dogmen? That would be a great tie-in for Lupercalia, Valentine's Day.
Oh God, help us all.
Well, that whole like lore ties into each other, right? Or we could have done it for Christmas, but we blew our opportunity.
We had a fun Christmas, so
We did have a fun Christmas, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I thought next week was my pick anyway, so I was just planning on having an idea for it actually. But
Well, I'm good with it.
Okay, Dogman Part 2. I'm gonna have to listen to our first episode because I don't. Wasn't the first girl still on our show with that one?
First girl. Who's Debra? The second girl?
Okay, the second girl. The first fourth host.
Tamara.
There we go. You guys remember?
I remember her for Black Eyed Children, right? And for
she was not on it for Dogman. We did that a couple.
We did Wendigo, I think, was the one she was on for.
Yeah,
Wendigo.
she was.
You're right. It was Wendigo.
She was on Wendigo, and then she was on like a second episode about aliens, I think. But that was it.
No, I think it was the Black Eyed Children one.
Oh yeah, she was on Black Eyed Kids too. Yeah.
Okay, Dogman. It is.
Dogman Part 2.
You heard it here. Better be here next week, you guys.
And you know what? I'm gonna reach out and see if I can get some of the guys in the NADP, the North American Dogman Patrol, to come on.
Yes, yeah, that would be good.
Well, maybe next week I'll be out there in the woods with my son hunting dogmen while we live stream dogmen.
There you go.
Trip, I'm telling you, I think you need to let your mother know about all these dangerous things that your father does with you.
The mother watches the podcast. She's fine with it.
Because she wants to know all the dangerous things you're going to do to her son.
She probably watches to hear what's going on. So-
Exactly.
I told you we heard the demon right here at the fishing bridge. I'll just bring our fishing poles and a gun. We'll be good to go. We'll get a dog man live on camera for everyone.
No, your wife.
We're
your
a
wife
homeless
watched,
person that we'll have to delete footage for real quick.
your wife watched this show just to say, "What the hell's my dumbass husband doing next?"
Oh, dude, you think I'm dumb right now? Wait, imagine what she has to deal with for the next 3 hours. Come on.
I pity the woman. But we love you, Lindsay. But Debra,
That's
talk
a
us
wrap.
out because
That's a wrap. Boys and girls, have sweet dreams. And once again, if there's a demon in your room, just shoo him away, and all is well.
And if it's Scott,
And I hope you write back because I'm cursing everyone who's watching this show with sleep paralysis tonight. It's gonna happen.
Oh no!
Don't you dare think it's not.
No.
And this is how we get canceled. This is how we get canceled. And if you want to listen to more recent episodes of Global Strangeness, check out Paranormal Normal podcast. Every other week, a Global Strangeness episode releases there. So Wednesdays, check it out. Global Strangeness is done for tonight. Dogmen Part 2 next week.
Have a great week, everybody.
You can find me on Facebook as Jeremy Bryant, or you can find me as Uncensored, Unapologetic, and Untamed UQ Podcast Collective Facebook group. You can find me on Twitter and the Instagram as @JugglerBastard, or should I say X now. And you can find me on TikTok as @JugglerBastard Podcast. You can also find me on YouTube as Paranormal New Normal. And you can also find me streaming on YouTube as Blind Knowledge Network, because all knowledge is blind until they admit Bigfoot exists.